Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
From carrying each other to a natty to carrying each other on the air.
Flynn is back to throw for the end zone. Goal!
Live from the Raising Cane studio, it's Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. OTB, hour number 3.
Hour number 30.
That's what I said. That's how it goes. We do 3 hours every single day, bub.
Tom Flash, we have fun, and we have fun at First American Bank and Trust, giving away American flags.
Go America. Better over at
All right, they were going to remind you about Bayou Automotive, but they are cutting in and out. So Tay Tay and I are going to talk, a little SEC tournament?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Alondra, we got Auburn tonight, and I think it's going to be a tough task because Auburn did not play yesterday, so they have other pitching available. And then you and I talked a little bit earlier about William Schmidt, right? He had the back soreness, the tightness. It's a little unclear what exactly is wrong with him, but word is right now he might be unavailable for the rest of the tournament. So you're likely going to go Case and Evans tonight because you have to win these games. But you're not going to see Gavin Guidry. You're not going to see Devin Sheeran. Both of them threw over 3 innings last night. That's just not going to happen. So you do have options. Like, it's all hands on deck, obviously, right? Like, Zach Cowan's a possibility. Basically, anyone in your bullpen. But why Auburn has the advantage, obviously, them and LSU did not play this year. But when you look at Auburn, they're not a team that's going to rely on a bunch of staggering runs. Like, they're not a Georgia that's going to put up 8, 9, 10 runs a game. You go look at what they did last Thursday with their game 1 starter against Georgia. They lost that game, but they lost 2-1. Jake Marciano has been their game 1 starter the last back half of the year or so, and he's been pretty good. Against Georgia, that same Georgia lineup that torched LSU for 3 games.
Yeah.
He goes 6 innings, gives up 2 earned runs. Now, 5 strikeouts and 3 walks, but he managed things well. 2 earned runs, just 4 hits, over 6 innings against a really good Georgia team. That matters. And when you're LSU and you already struggle in starting pitching, right? Like, Cooper Moore's not going to play for you. You already have multiple injuries. Now no William Schmidt. You saw Grant Fontenot and Guidry and Sheeran last night, all guys you thought could contribute today. You have Case and Evans, Zach Cowan, big question mark right now is kind of how it looks. And Auburn, again, didn't pitch yesterday. They got their full arsenal to work with.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know too much about Auburn since we didn't face them this season, but I do know Chase Freilich because we faced him before, and he was the freshman that, sits back there and called pitches on his own, called the whole game.
Yeah, he's been a 3-year starter,
yeah,
too.
he's going to be – he has a 1.025 OPS and a 320 batting average, and I'm looking at it. There's only one person batting below 300 on their roster, on their starting lineup. So – for whether it be Case and Evans or if it's going to have to be Johnny Holstaff, which would be not good at all, you're going to have a tall task with this lineup, to say the least.
Well, yeah, and on the flip side of things, look at what they did defensively against Georgia. You lose game 1, 2-1. Now, high-scoring game, 9-7, game 2 last Friday against Georgia. Then you actually rule them in 8 innings, 14-4 in game 3. So, in 2 of those 3 games combined, that's 6 runs against a really good Georgia lineup that scored at least 9 runs every single time they played LSU. So, they haven't been putting up gaudy run numbers like Alondra just mentioned. Anybody in this lineup, top to bottom, can hit. They can get on base. Pretty much everybody batting over 300. But the pitching staff, they lose to Jacksonville State last Tuesday, and you're like, oh, you lost to Jacksonville State. First off, Jacksonville State ranked number 24 in the country, so they're a good team. But again, it was 4-1. So they didn't hit well, but their pitching staff gave them an opportunity. When you look at LSU, what do we talk about? It's one thing after another. If you're hitting, you're not pitching well. Look at all the runs you've scored in SEC play the past few weeks. And then on the flip side, you've walked a lot of batters. Auburn's just steady right now on both sides of the ball. They play complementary baseball. When their runs aren't happening, they're holding teams to 2, 3, 4 runs. And that's a talented lineup like the Georgia Bulldogs. You look at LSU, they're struggling. And again, Omar Cerna, one of your best hitters the entire season, doesn't look like he's going to play today, maybe the rest of the SEC tournament. So, I just don't think LSU has enough offensively and defensively to combat just the really consistent play we've seen from Auburn.
Yeah, and I kind of think the same, but hopefully, there's like some postseason magic that baseball gets, and it looks like they're back, but it also kind of looks like they are.
Yeah, they're not back quite yet. Jake doesn't have a head.
So yeah, sorry guys, we are dealing with some technical difficulties, and Cassie says we should be good now. We are not good, girl. We
are not good. But look, as far as the SEC tournament goes, let's just go ahead and run down the rest of the bracket here for you real quick. The 9:30 a.m. game actually is about to start in just a few minutes. The 16 seed Missouri, which, remember, they came from behind against Ole Miss. They actually won that game 10-8 over the 9 seed. Big-time upset there. They'll take on Mississippi State at 9:30. Then your game 2, most people, 1 o'clock, if you will. It's all the games are TBD, but game 2, Vanderbilt versus Florida. That's the 12 versus 5. Vanderbilt, similar situation to LSU. Like, they have 14 conference wins right now, but their RPI is so low. It's like high 70s that Vanderbilt pretty much has to win this tournament just like LSU in order to get into postseason play. Like, when's the last time we said, hey, LSU and Vanderbilt both have to go on a run just to get in the postseason? But it's been that kind of year. They'll take on Florida, who we saw the kind of baseball Florida's playing just this past weekend in the box. That 4:30-ish game, it's going to be 10 seed Tennessee against 7 seed Arkansas. That's a battle of teams that have just been hot and cold all year long. When both of those teams are on, they both look like top 15 to 20 teams in college baseball. When they're off, anybody can beat them. I mean, LSU won that series against Tennessee. Look at the direction both of those teams have went since then. So that's the 10 versus 7. And then obviously the 14 seed versus the 6 seed. That's going to be LSU versus Auburn. That is scheduled for 8 p.m. I'm going to let you know right now that game's not going to happen at 8 p.m. because I don't think Tennessee-Arkansas is going to play at 4:30. We see this every year. Games run long in Hoover. And guess what, Alondra? Weather was great first day. Yeah, we're expecting rain in the forecast a little bit today in Hoover.
Perfect.
At some point, they have to move this game. Like, I love Hoover. Everyone that says they go, but it just feels like every single year we deal with this weather delay. But those are the games today. And for what it's worth, the teams with the double byes who do not play until tomorrow, that's Georgia. They will play the winner of Missouri versus Mississippi State. You have Alabama, who is trying to fight to be a top 8 national seed. They will play the winner of Florida versus Vanderbilt. Texas, that's the game. They're the 2 seed. That's going to be the winner of game 7, which is Arkansas versus Tennessee. And then Auburn, LSU, the winner of that will play that really good Texas A&M team, that 3 seed, which will be, looks like the last game on Friday. So LSU's just going to go late, basically the entire way through the bracket. That looks like that's going to be game 4 on Friday. Of course, if LSU does advance, I don't know if they do. Like, when you go back and look at Auburn, Alondra mentioned their batting lineup. Like, most of the guys in that lineup are going to bat 300. We mentioned their pitching staff, right? Like, they've held a lot of really good batting lineups to really, really low run totals. And then Auburn is 17-13 in SEC play. I was looking at that a little bit earlier. Just like Alondra mentioned, like, we didn't have to do a huge deep dive into Auburn because LSU and Auburn, seems like for the first time in a while, didn't play each other this year. But they're 17-13 in conference. Here's where I think it's most important where they could thrive in a situation like this. They're 21-10 at home, but they're 10-8 away. So they have a winning record on the road, and they're 5-0 in neutral site games. Like, on the flip side of things, when you go look at LSU, like, yes, obviously they've struggled overall in SEC play, but I mean, the Tigers just have not been great on the road this year. Like, you go look at You go look at what LSU's done. I just mentioned Auburn 10-8 away, 5-0 in neutral sites. LSU's 4-0 in neutral sites, so that could potentially help them. But they're 3-13 in true away games. So Auburn has a winning record in both away and neutral. LSU really, really struggled away from Alex Box. Again, you've had some neutral sites a little bit earlier in the year and in the course of the game last night, but I just think LSU's in for a tough task. I would love to see them advance, obviously, because you want them to get in the SEC tournament, and I want to see them play Texas A&M again because that gives us an opportunity to make fun of Texas A&M.
They ain't gonna beat us 4 times.
That's what Matt Flynn says. They ain't gonna beat us 4 times, but it gives us an opportunity to make fun of Texas A&M, which who doesn't love making fun of Texas A&M? But I mean, do you think? Okay, let's say LSU wins tonight, so they beat Auburn. You likely will use Case and Evans tonight. Let's say William Schmidt's not available.
So I think by then, Zach pitched on Saturday, right?
Yes.
Zach Cowan pitched Saturday. I think he pitched like 50, 60 pitches. I think by then maybe we can get him to go maybe 3 innings. Maybe. But, I mean, just the rest of the tournament already is just not stacking up in your favor.
No, it's not.
And again, that's been the season. Like, the season has not stacked up in your favor. Every time you think something's going to go your way. I mean, good example of it yesterday was whenever, I think it was the bottom of the 5th inning when Oklahoma came up and we let them score that 1 run and because of all the errors that we were doing. And so it's just kind of, that's how it's been. Like, I know y'all want like X's and O's or whatever, but it just truly feels like LSU's cursed this season. Like, I don't have any other explanation for it other than that Hunt, this is a station survey that's going to come out, I think, this weekend, but just to like give you my answer to it, he asked, what's the most surprising thing about this season to you? And it is that the team is this bad, right? That's obviously surprising. But the more surprising thing to me is that they're this bad under Jay Johnson. Like, even in 2024, I don't think it was this apathetic. I don't think that you had this much lack of fundamentally sound baseball with all the errors and everything. And I don't think that even the 2024 team, it feels like this team, or at least some of this team, is not bought in to what Jay's philosophy and LSU's philosophy is. And I don't know where those wires get crossed. I don't know where that got mixed up. I don't know what happened in the offseason for them not to get bought in. But I think that for me, it's just surprising that this is a Jay Johnson-led team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you were mentioning in 2024, I wanted to pull it up. Like, that was the team that notoriously started 3-12 in SEC play. They finished 13-17. LSU finished with 9 regular season wins. They were 9-21 in conference heading into that game last night. So, I mean, it's not even close. To your point, like right now, LSU sits at 30 wins. They're 30-27. They would have to win 13 more games to tie what that 2024 team did. And yes, was it Gage Jump? Was it Luke Holman? Sure, but both of those were portal guys. It goes back to what we talked about. Somehow, some way, you managed to miss on pretty much every single portal guy. Like, the only guy to come out of the portal that had been really good for you this year was Cooper Moore, and you lost him to the season earlier to an arm injury. So that's even out. Like, you thought Dardar was going to be the guy. He's been up and down. He's been in and out of the lineup with injury. Zach York is a complete miss. Trent Caraway is a complete miss. Braden Simpson, for that matter. Like, every single guy you went to. And I guess that kind of leads into, like, maybe what mine would be, right? Yeah. Like, the pitching staff won because everybody touted this as one of the best pitching staffs maybe Jay ever put together. And that just has not been the case. I mean, I don't even think you had a true, quote-unquote, ace on the staff. Like, you can go to Kaysen, you can go to Schmidt, but, like, you have that one dominant arm. Not really, at least not consistently. Like, we've seen flashes from Kaysen, but how consistent has that been? And then
that's not his spot.
Right.
Like, right. To be fair to him.
Yeah, because you're having to play him out of the position. And, like, we saw it back in 2019 or 2018, 2019 with Zach Hess. He came in as a freshman. He was a dominant closer, dominant reliever, just like Kaysen Evans. And then when you figured out it wasn't going to work as a starter, you had other options, so you were able to move him back. You don't have the options at this point to move a guy back. So it's one of those things where you missed, you're playing guys out of position, and it's kind of all hands on deck, and you're playing an Auburn team that's well rested. Like, I want to be optimistic. I don't know really how good I feel about this team because, one, they're well rested. Two, they're already less injured than you. And three, they've been more consistent. Like, back to your earlier point, it just seems like one of those seasons that everything is working against LSU really in every possible way that it can. And that's probably going to continue here tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we have them back, but they're also kind of chilling and they don't have their headphones on. So I don't know if they can even hear us. But let's just go to break. Yep. I have a recorded live. We'll come back and see if hopefully they're back from First American Bank and Trust out giving away 500 American flags. I'm sure it's way less than 500 now, but they're at the Dutchtown branch, Geismar, whatever you want to call it. Neither of us know what is what. None of us here in the foxhole know if it's Geismar or Dutchtown or what, but they're out there off of Highway 73. We'll be back after this here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
All right, banking should feel personal because, well, it is. At First American Bank and Trust, you're not just an account number. You are a neighbor with locations across Louisiana. They deliver personal service backed by the strength and technology you expect from a modern bank. So whether you're opening a checking account, growing your business, financing a home, or planning for the future, their team takes the time to understand your goals and build a plan that works for you. It's local decision-making, trusted relationships, real service. That is the difference. You can visit them online at fabt.com today to learn more. First American Bank and Trust, banking built around you.
That's right. For more than 100 years, they've helped Louisiana families purchase their first home, build businesses, grow their businesses, plan for the future, and it's all done with local bankers who live and work right here in our community. So know your banker, get straight answers, work with people that actually care about your success. And when you call, no phone trees, no out-of-state decisions being made on a loan, just honest banking that's built on trust. First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com.
2007 champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn, Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3 here on Off the Bench. Again, we've mentioned it multiple times. Jake and Matt, technical difficulties on site out there at First American Bank and Trust over there at the Dutchtown location. So we're going to hang out here. Me and Alondra are going to hang out with you now till the end of the show, to the foreseeable future. We'll figure it out. But we are hanging out here with you. And something I wanted to bring up real quick. Look, we've been in a lot of baseball talk. We get it. LSU's at a disadvantage against Auburn. They're not very good. They got to win 4 more games to even have a shot at the postseason. We understand what the task is. Want to move on real quick, just a short segment here with the New Orleans Saints, because Juwan Johnson yesterday met with reporters, and he was asked about the tight end room this year because, look, Juwan's coming off of a career year, but also at the same time, he made a lot of plays. There were some plays out there that maybe we thought he should have made that he didn't. Now, his play stepped up a lot more once Tyler Shuck took the reins of that offense, as it did for a lot of folks. I mean, we talked about kind of the disappointing start of the year that a guy like Devon Vele had. Juwan Johnson, similar, kind of in that same boat, but him and Tyler Shuck seem to have that connection. So you're hopeful that things look up for him coming up in 2026. But don't forget, all of a sudden, the Saints tight end room looks a lot different than it did a year ago, and it's very, very deep. So you add Noah Fant, who is about as veteran as they come. I mean, he's been in the league for 7 years, going on year 8, and he's bounced around a little bit. I mean, started his career in Denver, was there 3 years, had some nice production in Denver. Then he moved on to Seattle. Again, a consistent, I mean, this is a 500 to 600 receiving yards per year type of tight end. I mean, he's not going to set the world on fire. He's not going, you don't have the next George Kittle or Travis Kelce in your room with a Noah Fant, but it's a solid player. And more importantly, he's a bigger body who can block, because that's not really Juwan Johnson's role. Every time I feel like we mention Juwan playing tight end, it's, oh yeah, he's a receiving guy because he's a converted wide receiver. He's not going to block for you a ton. That was Foster Moreau last year. That's not the case this year. So you bring in a guy like a Noah Fant who can catch the ball and block a little bit as well. He's coming off of a year in Cincinnati. Played in 15 games, only started 7 of them, though. They kind of had a tight end by rotation last year. But look, in those 7 games, I mean, the numbers don't jump off the page at you, but per game, it's not bad. 34 catches, 288 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And again, that's in an offense with Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Like, only one football to go around. I thought he played his role really, really well last year in Cincinnati. Remember, the offense was not the problem last year for the Bengals. So you have Noah Fant. You bring in Juwan, who's coming off of a career year, 889 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's almost a double his next best year. His next best year was the year before, 548 and 3 touchdowns. So he almost doubled his production. Do I think he's going to have 889 this year? I don't know. I mean, I think with this tight end by rotation, his raw numbers might drop a little bit, but I think maybe we could see a little bit more consistency now that it's a full year with Tyler Shuck. A little bit more down in, down out, like, oh, I didn't see a mistake here by Juwan. A lot more efficient player because you got Juwan, you got Noah Fant, but you also bring in Oscar Delp. Remember, you got Oscar Delp, 3rd round. It was 73rd overall, so pretty high in the 3rd round. Played at Georgia for 4 years, and his first 2 years he sat behind Brock Bowers. And coming into the 2024 season, I remember this vividly. Everyone said, "Oh, Georgia's got the next Brock Bowers in their room already. It's Oscar Delp." Well, their quarterback situation was kind of up and down. You had Carson back. He was not nearly as good as he was in Miami at Georgia. I still think he was solid. I thought he got a lot of hate at Georgia. But, I mean, look, he wasn't Stetson Bennett, who was everything for that team. So kind of an up and down year his first year at Georgia. 20 catches, 248 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then last year, his production dipped even more, but they didn't use him in that Brock Bowers role. They used him as more of that traditional blocking style tight end. They had 2 or 3 tight ends that they kind of like to rotate. So 261 yards receiving, just 1 touchdown. But the athleticism jumps off the page at you when you see Oscar Delp. There's a reason this guy went in round 3, and there's a reason everybody loves this pick. So when I look at a guy like Oscar Delp, I'm thinking, okay, athletic freak. He's a guy that could come in. He can line up inside. He can line up outside. Very similar to a Juwan Johnson. And then when I look at Fant, again, he's been a receiving threat throughout most of his NFL career. I think he's going to be more of the blocker of the 3. But also, Delp can do that as well because, again, he was asked to do that last year at Georgia and actually did a pretty good job of it. And, I mean, nobody seems more excited than Juwan Johnson. Like, at first you're thinking, okay, Juwan's got competition this year. How does he feel about it? When he was asked about Noah Fant, he said, I think he should have just came here last year. I don't know why he wanted to go to Cincinnati and hang out with Joe Burrow, but I'm glad he's here now. So, it seems like he is all in on having help in that tight end room. He mentioned Oscar Delp. He's like, look, he's very fast. He's an explosive athlete. Got a lot of attributes that everyone's excited about. We got a nice tight end room. I will say that. Yeah, I would say that as well. I think that's kind of one of the positions not being talked about enough here for the Saints because it was all, can you build running back depth? Can you build DB depth? What are you going to do with pass rusher? You need help from receivers outside of Chris Olave. And I thought you did all of that in the draft, and I thought you did a pretty good job of it. But, think about tight end. Taysom Hill, as of right now, does not have a contract. Mickey Loomis said that just over the weekend. Foster Moreau, currently not on this roster. So you went from those 3 guys to just Juwan Johnson. And again, Juwan, not that traditional tight end. So what do? You go get a guy that can be that true Y tight end, if you will, that's a 7-year NFL vet and still has a lot of tread on the tires. And then you go get an explosive athlete that was maybe a little underutilized in college in a guy like Oscar Delp. I don't think any of these guys are going to be like top 10 tight end in the NFL, but the combination of all 3 guys a little bit different. I'm kind of excited to see what they can do alongside Tyler Shuck. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. When we get back, talk a little bit more Will Wade. We'll probably just keep it here the remainder of the show, and then we'll close it out like we do every day with some Ask the Bench.
Off the bench.
All right, go to getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Truly the place to go if you have any question. A live agent's actually going to pull up right there on the homepage of the website. So any question you might need to ask them, it can be answered right there. But also, you can see cases they can handle in the courtroom, past client results. All that information is on getgordon.com. It's always going to be at Get Gordon on all major social media as well. So Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever it might be. And then we always say it every single day, no matter where you're listening to us in Louisiana, put your area code followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
That's right. Get Gordon and get it done. GetGordon.com. If you have been injured, whether it's a car accident, whether it's on the job site, whether walking down the street, it doesn't matter. Give them a call and just start the conversation. Tell them about your case. Tell them about exactly what has happened. And then they go out and they fight for you. They've been doing it a long time because that is what they do. They get people in Louisiana exactly what they deserve. GetGordon.com.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3 here on a Wednesday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp, Alondra Villarreal back in the Raising Cane studio. And look, we're going to finish this thing out for you. We got connection issues. We apologize. And it's about 30 minutes away. There's really no point in Jake and Matt coming back. So, look, we're just going to knock this thing out. We've covered a lot of different topics. I mean, we've hit on LSU baseball plenty heading into this, what I would consider a really tall task against the Auburn Tigers tonight in the SEC tournament. I mean, we discuss all things NBA. Alondra Spurs, Jake's Knicks. Are they prepared for a NBA Finals clash? I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm ready to just be a true fence sitter here and kind of take jabs at one side or the other because I don't have a dog in the fight. But it'll be fun nonetheless. We had a little New Orleans Saints. I mean, we've kind of done it all here. But something I did want to bring up was news that dropped a little bit yesterday, and this is in the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice, if you remember back in 2024, Rice was driving his Lamborghini, high rate of speed on that North Dallas Expressway. It led to the multi-car crash. Multiple people were injured because of that. And, he was charged for it. Well, he's currently on probation, except he's now going to have to spend 30 days in jail due to a violation of his parole for testing positive for marijuana. Some people, I feel, don't have the ability to not screw up. Like, first off, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I want to know why you're still standing by this dude because, yes, he's been pretty good. He's been a productive receiver. He's coming off of an injury. He basically didn't play all last year for you. He just had another cleanup procedure. Now, it didn't appear to be anything serious, very similar to Malik Neighbors' cleanup procedure, just kind of going in, getting a lot of scar tissue out. Now you have this. What's next for Rashee Rice? Like, I understand you went 6-11 last year because you didn't have a number one receiver. But Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes have won a lot of games without Rashee Rice. I don't really see what the end goal here is for a team like Kansas City and a player like Rashee Rice. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I think if Andy Reid wasn't so likable, we would look at the Kansas City Chiefs a lot differently. It's just when you're winning, things like this fall by the wayside. It's not the first time something like this happened with the Chiefs. I remember everybody praised the Chiefs for releasing Kareem Hunt. Remember the video came out, the awful video of him with the domestic abuse with female acquaintance, girlfriend, whatever she was at the time. And they released it, man. And that was the right thing to do. But, I mean, don't forget, like, Tyreek Hill's had a little bit of a checkered past, too. Now, that was back in college at Oklahoma State, but the Chiefs had him. And, I mean, they didn't move on from him because of that. They moved on from him because he got a bigger contract with the Miami Dolphins. Now you have this. Like, I like Andy Reid, but it just seems like winning kind of puts everything else by the wayside. But you're 6-11 last year. Your number one receiver, the only guy who really looks like he could be a threat in this offense outside of Travis Kelce, because, I mean, let's be honest, outside of Rashee Rice, this team struggled last year to get consistent guys open downfield. It's part of the reason Mahomes was hit so much last year, which honestly ultimately led to his injury. They have really nothing outside of Rashee Rice right now. Like, Travis Kelce's getting older. A lot of people didn't even think he was going to come back this year. You're coming off of a 6-11 season. And then when you look at their division, I think Denver's one of the best teams in the NFL. I think Denver had a really good shot to go to the Super Bowl if Bo Nix doesn't break his foot in that wild overtime game against the Bills. The Chargers Like, look, Jake mentions the Bush League Bowl, right? The Chargers are going to Charger. But they're a damn good regular season team. And really with Harbaugh and Herbert there, as long as everyone stays healthy, you imagine that's going to happen once again this year. Now, when they get in the playoffs, it's going to be a completely different story. But I don't think Mahomes is going to be fully healthy till October. I mean, he tore that ACL, is it December 11th, December 14th, somewhere in there? I mean, even if you're back in 9 months, let's say 10 months to fully recover, that's October. So I'm not even sure if Mahomes starts the season. Kelsey appears to be in his last year. Maybe, maybe not. But, there was rumblings last year that this was going to be his final season. Who knows what's going to happen with Rashee Rice? You were 6-11 last year. You're trending in the wrong direction. I just mentioned the Broncos and the Chargers, how good I think those two teams are. The Raiders were kind of the one where the Chiefs could hang their hat and say, hey, we haven't fallen too far behind. The Raiders are still there. Sure. But you just drafted Fernando Mendoza, who a lot of people expect to be a pretty good quarterback. And even if he's not ready, you got Kirk Cousins. Whatever you think of Kirk Chainz, he is a heck of a lot better than what you had last year with Geno Smith. That's just a fact. Even if Cousins has fallen off and he'll never be that quarterback that the Falcons paid him to be right after that Achilles tear, I still think he's a better quarterback than Geno Smith. Like, those 2 years in Seattle, as consistent and as steady as Geno was, right now that appears to be the outlier because last year was really bad. It's not really going into a better situation this year either. Like, you're going to quarterback the New York Jets. Congrats, bud. Like, that's part of the reason I did not like the New York Jets draft picks because they traded back into the first round. They got 3 first-round picks. I think they're all awesome. I mean, now you got Garrett Wilson. You got Omar Cooper Jr. You got Kenyon Sadiq and Mason Taylor at tight end. You got Breece Hall at running back. And you got Geno Smith getting them all the football. I just don't know how much that's going to help you. Now you can't really build towards the future because you picked all 3 of those guys this year. If you find your right quarterback, it'll work out. But back to the Raiders, I think Cousins is a big upgrade from a guy like a Geno Smith, and then ultimately, when Fernando Mendoza is ready at some point this year, he's going to take over. I think he's going to be a lot better. They tried to shore up their offensive line. You have Ashton Genty. If you can get him some running room, maybe he can make some things happen. Like, I'm not saying the Raiders are contenders. I still think they're going to be pretty bad. But if you're the Chiefs, you're not getting any younger. Your young talent continues to get in trouble, as is in the case of Rashee Rice. And Bo Nix and Justin Herbert are young guys. They're not going anywhere. Sean Payton appears like he's locked in. Jim Harbaugh's locked in. How much longer does Andy Reid have? You have the oldest coach in the division, a quarterback who, as great as he is, coming off of a knee injury where he tore multiple ligaments, an aging tight end who looks like he's in his last year, no real receiving threats that can consistently stay out of trouble and stay on the field for you. What's your running game going to look like? Sure, you have Kenneth Walker, but how's that offensive line going to hold up? It was bad a year ago. And everyone else in your division is getting better. The Kansas City Chiefs have been the premier team and the talk of the town in the NFL for 5 or 6 years now, and rightfully so. How long can that last, though? Like, I think that's what's the most impressive thing about a team like the New England Patriots. They basically had 2 separate dynasties. Because early on in Brady's career, he won, 3 Super Bowls in his first 6 years, not unlike Mahomes. Then you saw that little bit of a fall off where all those veterans that were there when Brady was young were retiring. But then they built it back up, and he went and won 3 more of those things. Can the Kansas City Chiefs do the same thing? I'm not sure because I don't know if Andy Reid's going to be coaching that long before he retires. You're not really going to have anyone that can grow with Mahomes because I think Kelsey's going to hang it up before that time comes. Like, you'll have Mahomes, you'll have your veteran quarterback, and, I mean, let's be honest, if you have Patrick Mahomes, you have a shot. But, I mean, outside of that, what is this team going to look like moving forward? I'm just not sure. Like, yes, Mansour Delane's great. You lost both your starting corners a year ago, both of them to the LA Rams, ironically. I don't know how long this dynasty can last. Like, again, you have Patrick Mahomes, you have a shot. That division's tough. It's getting tougher. The Chiefs just kind of seem like maybe they're spinning their wheels and they're not really going anywhere fast. Like, I guess the point to all of this is, are the Chiefs that desperate at wide receiver where they're going to continue to hold on to Rashee Rice? Because, like, if I'm Rashee Rice and I have a $40 million contract offer potentially on the table, I don't know what the deal is, but I mean, that's kind of the going rate right now. I'm going to do everything I can to not screw anything up, to make sure I at least get that money first. Remember, Rashee Rice is on his rookie deal. They can move on from him after this season, and, I mean, that's it. Pay him a couple mil, and then he's out of there, which is exactly what I think they should do. Will they? I don't know. I feel like they probably should have already done that, but you see these receivers get these big contracts. You saw it with Brandon Ayuk. He got the big deal, and I'm not even sure if he's been inside the 49ers facility since he got that deal. Debo got that deal. He fell off. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think you can afford to hold on to Rashee Rice and pay him right now. I think you got to move on. Again, I'm not sure they will, but look, it's an interesting story to follow. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, you reach the mountaintop. How long can you stay there? We'll see what happens with a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, look, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little bit of an earlier break. We're finally going to have an extended Ask the Bench. It only took Matt and Jake to both be out of studio. Me and Alondra, we're going to do a full Ask the Bench brought to you by Dos Equis. That's coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench. From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here on a Wednesday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp, Alondra Villarreal, back inside the Raising Cane's studio. We are not at First American Bank and Trust out there in Dutchtown. Jake and Matt held it down for the first 2 hours or so. Look, it was just, it's internet connection, guys. We're on remote. Unfortunately, things like that happen. We weren't able to reconnect. So, look, we're going to take you the next 9 minutes or so to finish this thing out. A lot of Ask the Bench questions in the chat. We'll get to those in just a second. Do want to remind you that Ask the Bench brought to you every single day by Dos Equis. Okay, first Ask the Bench question. It's actually Ask the Producers. Love that. Carly, best Christmas gift you've ever gotten?
An espresso machine.
I love that you are so ready for that.
That is the best gift I've ever gotten.
Guys, you see this girl bringing her coffee every morning. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
Right after I turned 16, so I turned 16 in September. I got my first car for Christmas. I mean, that's obviously the answer. Not sure if that counts.
Oh, yeah.
I remember though, 4th grade, all my buddies, we were all getting a new gaming system. It was right when the first Xbox 360 came out, the original one. I got that for Christmas. That was like, God, you were cool in 4th grade if you got that as a Christmas gift. So that's probably one. But the silver and black Jeep Wrangler back in 2014 or 2013 is probably the answer. But again, kind of a cop-out answer because you can't really compete with that. Nookie, I cannot ask your next question, but to answer it for you, yes, I do.
What is it?
Ask the producers, how do you quell your road rage? So
I can't.
So, okay, I don't either. You guys know I love to come up in here and complain about the traffic. It's one of my favorite things to do. You guys all pick on me for it. It's not just me. Alondra had the traffic issues this morning, not me, okay? It's not just me.
I had to go out to Dutchtown, Geismar, whatever you want to call it, earlier this morning to go drop something off for Cassie. And I'm like driving there and driving back, and I'm just thinking the standards to become a semi-truck driver have to be incredibly low. Like, they must hire pretty much anybody because why are you going 65 in the passing lane when the speed limit's 70 and your friend over here is also going 65, so I can't get around either of you.
Oh, I feel like they do it intentionally.
They do it on purpose.
Right next to you. No, like if you want to go that speed.
And there's nothing that I can do to control myself for how much I rage out about it.
If you want to go that speed, fine. Guys,
get out the passing lane.
It's called the right lane. Get in that far right lane. Let everybody else pass you. Really
why
not
are you
rocket
even
science.
there?
Yeah.
Like, well, you're not going. Why are you even there?
You're driving from here to Lake Charles. You don't even need to be in that lane anyway. It's like just get over. It'll make you less mad because people are honking at you. It'll make people like me and Alondra who have short fuses on the roadway a lot more happy. Like,
I'm supposed to go to Rejuve-Me today to get my blood drawn and get my labs done. And like between road rage and the internet over there not working, they're gonna tell me my cortisol is like
they're gonna come in and they're gonna be like, Alondra, unfortunately, we can't do anything for you.
We're gonna have to redraw your blood.
We're also sending you to the hospital.
Yeah,
like nothing we can do for you. That's that's happening. It's been tense over here. But to answer your question, I mean, you could see the rant we just went on. No, nothing really quells the road rage.
No.
And it's one of those things. Also, like the rain this morning made it worse because when it rains, a third of the people forget what to do entirely. A third of the people are like, I'm gonna go 40. And then the last third's like, I'm still going to go 85.
You know what else I was thinking about is that, because it wasn't straight up raining when I was on my way over there, but there was water on the street. And so people were throwing it, the tires will spray it on you. That's almost more annoying to drive through than
it is. It's
rain.
worse. It's worse. Yep. We were doing, it's that time of year. Alondra, we got like 2 months left till
that's crazy.
Baby Griff gets here. So we were touring a couple pediatricians yesterday. Yes, Razor. My bad. Misspoke there.
I know, that's not his name. That's crazy.
No one is going to call that kid by his name.
No,
and
it's going to be Razor.
I'm kind of here for it. I'm good. Anyways, we were touring pediatricians yesterday. First one was out where we live, but the second one was over here in Baton Rouge. And when I got out from behind the 18-wheelers, I felt like it was barely raining. And it was storming just because they throw up that much freaking water behind them. Like, I can't do it. Ask the bench, who has had the biggest rage moment in the office, and what was it about?
Musso.
Matthew Musso twice a week randomly.
Musso every single day, not even twice a week. It's every day. He's like cussing to himself in his office.
Doesn't matter what it is. Look, our guy Musso works hard, and he's hard on himself. So that's something you'll notice. Yeah, I
think everybody would say the same thing.
Well, I got a desk right by his, and I'll be sitting there, it's a little bit slower. I'm getting ready to pack up and leave for the day, and I hear rage and chaos. I'm like, look, bud, it's 2:00 in the afternoon on Thursday, man. We good?
One time, I think I left my charger here or something, so I came up here at 7 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
So nobody is here, and I'm coming up, and I just hear Musso just raging in his office, and I'm like, who's cussing at themselves right now is Moose.
Let me tell you something fun
7 o'clock at night, Moose is just...
I highly recommend this if you could ever do it. Watch an LSU baseball game with Matt Musso. It was the Friday you were in Starkville.
Yeah.
Matt was on remote. Hope was on remote. Me and Moose were doing AFR. I was doing it with him. It was a sight to see. I got scared for my safety at some point, and he wasn't even yelling at me. It was quite fun. I really enjoyed it. I know our guys quite passionate about those LSU Tigers. Ask the bench, Taylor, did you sabotage the feed solely because of the flag giveaway? No, guys, I didn't. Okay? I didn't.
Just give it up, Taylor.
I did not do it.
Give it up.
Now, did I have the British flag? That's lips are sealed on that one. We're not going to bring that up.
I wonder how many they ended up giving away.
I think that's at 245, but that was back at
I think he was
820.
guessing though. I don't think that was an actual number. Let's see.
You know what? Consider the source. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. The chances of that being accurate, pretty low right there.
I don't see anything else.
Anyways, guys,
how long can Tay Tay go? Oh my gosh. So I'm just glad that this happened with Taylor and not somebody filling in for him, because this man can it's absurd. It's truly baffling to me how Taylor can just fire off takes and has so many of them and can just go and go and go. We had no plan going into this at all.
No, not really.
Obviously we don't plan for having to host the show back in the studio. And so all of that was Taylor just riffing. That was just in his head. It's crazy. And it's all day too. Him and Jordan, him and Musso, man.
This will probably only get worse the longer we've been married. Sometimes Victoria hates it when I come home because I'm like, hey, guess what happened at work today? Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, hey,
God bless Victoria.
I was at the Lane Kiffin press conference and this occurred. And this was like, how was your day? She's like, oh, well, I did some spreadsheets and filed some of this away. And I'm like, great, cool, back to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're going.
Somebody, Gulf South, imagine Cassie filling in for Tay Tay. Alondra would have blown a fuse. No, I would have just talked about stupid stuff that nobody wants to hear. I maybe would have given you a Will Wade take. I would have given you some more baseball stuff. I don't have any Saints takes locked and loaded for you right now. I truly don't. I'm locked out of that until maybe August.
Plus, baseball's just depressing.
Yeah.
Right now. Like,
So I would have maybe talked more about. I mean, even Diana Rossini's not even interesting anymore.
we need some Diana
Somebody-
stuff.
Okay,
we
wait,
need
hold
something,
on.
right?
The guy-
There's got to be some TMZ
4C
reporter that's been sitting
hold
on a
on.
photo for a decade.
4C Custom Cards. I think that's what it is. Let me get it right. 4C Custom Cards, the ones that made the card of Jake and Matt together. He sent me a video yesterday. He made custom Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel cards.
Okay.
4C Custom Cards. Go look it up on
One day
Instagram.
those might sell. One day those might sell. There's some idiot out there that's gonna be like, you know what, I'm buying them. I'm getting them, and they're gonna just pay way more than what that card is worth. EMSA says Taylor absolutely sabotaged the remote.
Yep.
Guys, no, I didn't. I went over there this morning. I brought him coffee. I cut
That's
one
not
cord,
true.
and then that was it. Okay, like
That's
it didn't
true.
do anything.
So anyways, is it Geismar or is it Dutchtown? Or is it both?
I think the address is Geismar.
The address said Geismar.
Yeah, I think the address is. It's kind of, I mean, I'm one of those people that's like, it's either Baton Rouge, Livingston Parish, or Gonzales.
Right.
Those are the three places around here that I know. So it is what it is. All right, guys. Hectic show.
We did it.
Yeah, hectic, and we rolled with the punches here. Me and Alondra back in studio. Shout out to Jake and Matt. They went to the right location, which is really all we asked them to do. And Cassie, we know she's going through it as well. So that's going to do it. Wednesday edition of Off the Bench. Jake and Matt back in studio tomorrow. We're recapping LSU Auburn. Stay tuned.
Off the bench.